Hello, everybody. It's Miguel, and I'm here to make an instance of my video journal. This is a video journal for July 23rd, 2025. And the journal subject is participation. And I love participation. I've been thinking about generativity lately. It's a subject that is relating to what is it? Not affirmative inquiry. Is it affirmative inquiry? No, it's not affirmative inquiry. It's appreciative inquiry. AI. If you've ever heard of appreciative inquiry, appreciative inquiry is a business strategy to improve output. And it's about sort of restoring a particular business or organization using not a deficit model, not problem solving, but using sort of a reinterpretation, a narrative, creating narratives, or actually looking at the strengths of an organization, the core strengths of an organization, and amplifying those strengths in such a way that it overshadows the weaknesses. And basically, it's a way of getting away from deficit thinking. And I think this is really important for me because I have a tendency to do a lot of deficit thinking and problem solving. In fact, a lot of my rumination is about problem solving. So, but one important aspect of AI, affirmative inquiry or appreciative inquiry is something called generativity, and generativity is a set of actions that leave a trace and allow a new narrative to be created through creative energy. And generativity, examples of generativity are things like writing a slogan, or another example would be coming up with doing like a mastermind group around a certain subject at your business. Another example of generativity would be, it's actually a fairly wide concept, and it includes a lot of things. It's any activity that restories a particular relationship or organization or process, and it does so in positive terms typically. So it's about creating mind maps or doing pieces of art, maybe writing a song about your relationship with yourself or with someone else or with your business or with your customer. Coming up with a purpose, like a mission statement, would be a generative act. Anything related to like doing a play acting, maybe writing a story or writing like a drama or some kind of screenplay, that would be generative. Any kind of writing a purpose statement. I already said something like that, but it would also be something like what other examples? Other examples would be like coming up with a special handshake. Something generativity would be coming up with nicknames, would be something that would be generative. It would be coming up with a dance, creating a playlist for the organization, the group, would be generative. It's just like sort of recasting an organization or partnership in a new light, using any number of generative actions. Maybe going on a hike would be generative. So it's kind of, but mostly what it is, it's some kind of activity that leaves a trace. Maybe there's a memory, or maybe there's a photograph or a piece of art, or something that leaves a trace, and then that restories, like it sort of casts that organization or that partnership or that relationship in a new light, in a new way. And it keeps things dynamic and moving and growing. And it means that there's learning and activity around it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm appreciating generativity, and it's such a broad concept. It's definitely what's interesting is it's an activity that changes the narrative or changes the purpose or doesn't have to change anything. It just has to have sort of have to be influenced by the group or the relationship, or the relationship has to be somehow modified or changed. The story, the narrative around it. Well, I like appreciative inquiry partly because it works on a few levels. Like it could work on the level of language, like you could tell a new story. It could work on the level of visual information, like picture, where you draw a picture of like representing important values to your organization or to yourself or to your relationship. So there's a visual aspect. It could be auditory. You could write a song, or uh, um, so it'd be like, yeah, it could be written, image, and it could be like a play or a skit, maybe a skit that's relating to whatever you're doing. That would be like a 3D function. So a 3D aspect of it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how it can be generativity can be a whole lot of things. It could be visuals, like I was mentioning. It could be it could be written, it could be visuals, could be acted out. I guess is there and it can also be just conceptual. Maybe it's just a new idea brainstorming around a certain topic. Anyway, this idea of generativity is interesting to me because of how I don't know. It's definitely a top level abstraction, and I Um, but what I'm noticing is that it involves participation. A lot of it involves participation. I mean, you can do it yourself so long as you introduce it to others as just sort of a new aspect of your relationship. But I think participation is an important part of it, where you're working on it together, some kind of creative. It's a creative act, and it's sort of you're participating in the creative act together to repurpose or restore your relationship uh, or organization. And there's power behind it because it's an indicator of growth, right? Like, oh, we're growing in a direction, and it's directional. I think that's kind of interesting too. It's not just arbitrary, and it's not just a statement of where we're at, but it's directional. Like it's purposeful. There's an expansion going on. It's almost key to growth, right? I mean, how do you do growth without some kind of leaving a trace or re-storytelling or repurposing? There's like a reinterpretation going on. Or if it's not so much a reinterpretation, it's an expansion of the interpretation, right? And it's participative, right? I love this idea of participation. Anyway, this appreciative inquiry and participation. Oh, I also want to talk briefly about this communication strategy I've got going. It's an overlay. It's an overview of the entire thing of, let's say, communication in a relationship, where you use assertive communication for one partner and the other partner, motivational interviewing to analyze the sort of the desires and needs of the other person. So one person, for the originator, it's nonviolent communication, the Offner process: observations, feelings, needs, requests. And then there's motivational interviewing to sort of sort of sound the depths of the other person's needs and interests and wants. And then that's all happens in the context of appreciative inquiry. And there's a function at the end of a period where you're sort of getting feedback about how it went for that day and how authentic and how much growth happened during the conversations. And yeah, anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day today. Thank you very much. I'm just sort of getting these ideas out.